You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Summer's the best time to run the way you want. Dial it up with new challenges and programs and bring your workouts with you to make the most of outside sunny days. There's no better way to do that than with Peloton. With Peloton, take advantage of how beautiful it is outside right now. You can go on an outdoor run or even a walk if you're not feeling like running, all while working on your tan. Summer's the best time to push your pace. Move how you want, enhance your fitness journey, and feel like your most empowered self. Whether you're prepping for a marathon or improving your pace, whatever road lies ahead, your training starts here with Peloton Tread or Tread Plus. Peloton's programs and instructors take you to new heights. Tap into their expertly programmed workouts and real-time metrics like pace targets that can take your fitness journey to new heights. From their strength classes designed for runners on the Peloton Tread or Tread Plus to guided outdoor runs on the Peloton app, Peloton's classes challenge you to be your best. Call yourself a runner with Peloton at onepeloton.com/running.
Now's a good time to remember where the story of tequila started. In 1795, the first tequila distillery was opened by the Cuervo family. And 229 years later, Cuervo is still going strong. Family owned from the start, same family, same land. Now's a good time to enjoy Cuervo, the tequila that invented tequila. Go to Cuervo.com to shop tequila or visit a store near you. Cuervo, now's a good time. Trademarks owned by Becle, SAB de CV. Copyright 2024. Proximo. Jersey City, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Let's do a little bit of housekeeping here because for some reason our information and internet work so slowly that while we're in the show yesterday and I have confirmation on my newsfeed that Subway is indeed struggling as a franchise, we leave for the day without anyone being able to verify that on the entirety of the internet. It turns out that there are an alarming number of franchises closing, and there was an emergency meeting that Subway is saying is not an emergency meeting last week because of the number of franchises that are closing at an alarming rate.
That was according to the New York Post, though.
Yeah. I would have told you that off the top of my head. I've seen nobody at a Subway in 3 years.
Listen,
nothing.
As long as you get us Caleb Williams Radio Row Week, we're fine.
Also, housekeeping on this, do we have 20 actors better or more famous movie acting men than Ben Affleck this century? Were you able to find 20 of them?
I found like 50. I don't know if you want me to...
Wow.
I mean, I found a lot. Like, I think... if you win an Academy Award for Best Male Actor, you're automatically on the list, right?
Yes.
In the last 24 years.
So you guys would argue, because I'd argue that Paul Giamatti doesn't get to be as famous an actor as Ben Affleck by virtue of Ben Affleck's dating resume, which doesn't have anything to do. It just has to do with fame.
Famous and better, different though.
Well, this is where it gets a little dicey, because if you just want to go by movie stars, not television and film stars, then the list gets a little bit more narrow. Like someone like Bryan Cranston probably isn't on it, although he has been in a bigger cultural event acting.
And he's been nominated for an Academy Award.
He has, but he hasn't won one.
Well, was Batman not a cultural event when Ben Affleck played Batman?
For all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. It was ass.
Because it was an ass Batman. Okay.
So Ben Affleck, The Town, Argo, Gone Girl, and
that's a good run, man.
Air.
Those are bangers.
Probably his best 4 films of
after Good Will Hunting.
2000 onward.
Can I
the odds.
Can I make a pushback on one thing?
Yes.
Argo, he's more known as being the director than his acting job that he did.
That's fair.
Correct,
I think that they're also adding some nuance there.
That was Oscar nominated, was it
It
not?
was.
The movie was.
Did it win an Oscar?
Argo?
Argo yourself.
Exactly.
There's a moment where the Iranian people, the police are trying to get him, and he's about to walk in. Like, that's a tense moment right there.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you have someone like Daniel Day-Lewis, who I feel like he retired from acting.
Yeah.
To become a cobbler for a while.
Fewer than 10 years ago, but he has to be on this list because he is one of our greatest actors of all time, even though he may have fewer recognizable titles just in the last,
You know what,
20 years
Jessica?
than Ben.
Of course, Daniel Day-Lewis is a better actor, a better thespian. He's not a bigger movie star than Ben Affleck.
I think he is. I think if he announced he was going to be in a movie that comes out next year, I think that would be a pretty big effing deal, versus if Ben Affleck did, it would be a medium effing deal.
And you know how we know it'd be a medium effing deal? Because he was in a movie with Jennifer Lopez that nobody saw.
Wait, is this?
He was.
What is this list? Best actors or
Right.
most famous actors?
That's what we're
What do you
talking
want?
about right
Right.
now.
He said the biggest-
I think
I
the
said
best
biggest movie
20 best
stars.
movie
The
stars.
Rock, Vin Diesel. I mean, Ben Affleck's not even going to sniff this list. Get the hell out of here.
Right.
Vin Diesel's real name? Mark Sinclair.
Yeah.
Well, Billy, I think you're proving my point now. It's that there's a lot of,
Mark Wahlberg.
a lot of actors on this list. Mark Wahlberg actually wasn't on my list, but I had Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Paul Giamatti with an asterisk, maybe. So, maybe he's OLI. Matthew McConaughey, Matt Damon, Tom Hanks, Sam Jackson.
Is
Joaquin
McConaughey
Phoenix.
a big? I think of
come
Affleck
on,
as
stop
being
An
it.
Academy Award.
No.
He won an Academy Award.
Not only has he won an Academy Award,
Buyers Club.
but he's wildly popular.
Okay,
he's
but
a
I think of them
movie
as
star.
similar names, though. I
He's
think
on
of them.
College Game Day.
But if I were to say to you, if I were to say to you, who's more famous, McConaughey or Affleck? Like it's
We're
push.
not doing who's more famous,
Yeah,
though.
what are we
That
doing?
was
We're not doing
But that's what movie stardom is.
Figure out what
Rowan
list you want,
Atkinson.
man.
that's not the only criteria. That's why I was trying to explain the criteria before I started
Chris
giving
Pratt.
the list.
Oh, forgot about
All the
That's another good
Hemsworths.
one.
We'll get back.
I forgot
We'll
about
get
that.
back to your list in a second.
do you know the list that you want? Because I know the one I want, and it's Gunslingers. I mean,
Yeah, top 5 gunslingers is still out there.
Not going to do that. Thank you, though.
Well,
I
we were
really
cleaning up.
appreciate it.
Try, Tom.
I appreciate that you guys wanted to get it back to gunslingers, but not right now. Not on my watch.
Stallone.
Tony thinks Aaron Rodgers is a gunslinger.
whoa.
He absolutely is a gunslinger guy. Sorry to tell you.
You got to throw more interceptions than that if you're going to be a gunslinger.
look who's
a
engaged.
gunslinger.
I knew I could get Dan
It's
in.
got to be more than 5 interceptions a season.
Well,
if
hold
you
on a
wanna be
second.
gunslinger.
If he's reckless this year, is it a regression or is it he's a gunslinger? Can you regress
He's just
into
old.
being a
No,
gunslinger?
he's just an old. He's an old guy who the gun doesn't work the same in the holster as it used to.
I don't know.
He's not as quick on the draw as he used to be.
Good argument by Tony, though.
You can't argue that.
I mean, we don't want to get to the list. Dan just was.
I don't wanna get
He
to
doesn't
the
want to
list.
get to it because I would have more to say if we didn't want to get to it. So if I say I don't know,
I don't wanna
he
get
can
to
move
the
his next
list.
We
one.
won't get
Because-
to it, but if we did, who might be on?
You know why I don't want to get to the list? Because I'd prefer to get to Tony's top 5 NFL games, regular season games he's keeping an eye on.
Oh, wow.
Possibly a better list, by the way. I'm not going to say it's 100% a better list, but it's possibly a better list.
But Gunslingers after that?
Nope,
So-
no thank you.
What?
Number 5,
What?
Tony.
Well, we have 8 OLIs, Dan.
Oh, for the love of God.
8.
Number 1 OLI, Rodgers going back to San Francisco.
Like it.
Bay Area kid going back to San Francisco. Early one. That's Monday Night Football, 9-4. September 4th, Monday
That's
Night
week 1.
9-9, excuse me. Yeah, week 1.
Yeah, week 1.
Very
So-
exciting.
He'll probably be there.
I am not doing this for 13 of these. Speed it up.
Okay,
Could have went Gunslingers. I mean,
Kansas City at San Francisco. Chris? Hey.
like it.
Texans versus Cowboys on Monday Night Football.
Circle.
Battle for the Lone Star State. Chiefs versus Bills.
A lot of Chiefs games.
Bengals versus Chiefs.
The Chiefs' whole schedule.
Whole schedule for the Chiefs.
49ers Dolphins.
Oh, wow. Big one.
Big one.
Big
Hey.
one.
One that's under the radar because people don't think about the Eagles as highly as they have the last couple of years. Eagles Bengals.
Nice one.
Number 1 OLI. Falcons Vikings. Kirk Cousins going back to Minnesota.
Big game.
It's OLI. It's
Big
OLI.
game.
It's a
What
big
week
game.
is it?
That's week 14.
They cheer for him, right? They cheer for Kirk. They
Week
do.
14. They might be. Both teams might be
Week
fighting
6,
for a
that's
wild card
okay.
spot.
Come on.
Both teams might be fighting for a wild card spot.
They
It was a
will
big
not
game.
be.
Yeah, we have
Neither one of
14.
them will be.
It's
Get
your
out of
list,
here.
Tom.
Thank you. Number 5.
If Darnold has a season, though.
Oh,
Well,
forget
me and
it.
Stugotz were talking about a possibility for the Vikings. What if they trade for the back of whoever's not starting,
Wilson or Fields.
Wilson or Fields?
Yeah.
Well, what if Penix is the quarterback?
Oh, Cousins goes back. Wow.
Oh, wow.
As a backup?
Back to Mini.
Number 5.
Number 5. Bears Texans. CJ Stroud, the next young quarterback. Caleb Williams, coming in as the crowned amazing next quarterback.
Yeah.
That one's going to be fun.
Wow.
Yes, he is the crowned amazing.
What
next
week is
quarterback.
that?
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4. Game 1. Jordan Love versus Hurts. Philly versus Green Bay. Game 1 in Brazil.
Brazil.
Number 3.
Huge game.
Game 2.
one?
That's not game 1.
It's Friday night.
Okay, game
Number
2.
3.
Whatever. Number 3. The Harbaugh Bowl.
Number 2.
11:25. Jim versus John in a classic.
Couple of
Thanksgiving
Harbaughs cutting
classic.
it out.
Number
3 days
2.
before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
Number
We're gonna have
2.
lots to talk about that
NFC Championship game rematch. Lions
Number 1.
versus
Number
49ers
1.
measuring stick game. Number 1. AFC Championship game rematch. First game of the year. MVP versus the Super Bowl MVP.
Excellent.
Games to watch. I'm just keeping an eye on them, Dan. All
Thank
of them.
you, Tony. I appreciate it. 13 games you're keeping an eye on. Stugotz is
Long
ready
season.
for God Bless Football. It's about to be a poor, long season for Billy Gill. Are you guys, any of you, bothered by the fact that NFL Films has embargoed the audio from Travis Kelce bumping into Andy Reid? And there's audio out there somewhere that would tell you exactly what it is that Travis Kelce said. The Travis Kelce economy is a substantive one. You might not like how he talks to his coach. Now that he's a lot more famous and powerful than his coach. And are you surprised at all that it's been embargoed and no one's heard that sound?
I can tell you exactly what he said. Give me the effing ball.
Right.
Pretty easy.
And he was right.
If only we had an inside man in the NFL that could get us that sound.
If only we had somebody that could get on the inside.
Forgot the bit.
If only we had an
Little inside job.
man.
Just stopped listening to the show.
He's
tired.
I mean, it's done so well today.
I'm gonna tell you exactly. You want to pull back the curtain because you said Travis Kelce.
You laid it up.
And I talked to you about a Travis Kelce topic in the break, so I was like, let me get my Travis Kelce
Just
stuff
get out
out.
of here. Just get out of here. Just get out of here again.
5 minutes.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, asshole.
Hey, asshole was a little harsh. I mean,
Also, NFL Films, completely different division. I don't know anything that goes on over there.
You'd also have to be
I'm
a double
Roger.
agent to spy on the NFL to us, and you're not.
I'm not.
You don't want to be
I don't
disavowed.
snitch.
single agent.
Yeah.
Listen up, folks. The college football landscape has changed a lot. NIL deals, social media, the transfer portal. There's never been more distractions for an athlete. But Powerade knows what's important, the commitment to the game. The game is what matters. With 50% more electrolytes than Gatorade Thirst Quencher, Powerade hydrates athletes as they block out the noise and put in the work. Hydrate your grind with Powerade. Grab a pack today on Amazon or at a store near you. See product label for additional details. It takes more.
Dan Batard.
God doesn't even know what this list is.
He was ahead of Tom Brady, who also won a playoff game.
A couple, yeah.
That was literally the most confusing list we've ever done.
Hey, Tebow's got a better shot of coming back.
Give him a chance. He's got more lyrics.
I'm mad.
I'm angry.
at
I want to
you.
leave.
Stugotz.
This would have been your day. This should be. You should own the sports media landscape right now.
I am. Top 7 guys. I would not want the Jets.
No. You.
No.
No. I'm not allowing it.
Give him
Zach
a chance,
Wilson is
guys.
number one.
No, I'm not giving him a chance. I'm giving him 20 years.
Carson Wentz.
I've given him my prime.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
What have we found out in housekeeping on Stephen A. Smith and what it is that he alleged on First Take, please?
Look at Tua. I don't think it's an accident that Tua said what he said when he said it. I don't think it's an accident that Dan Batard asked him when he asked him. Dan Batard does his show in Miami. Dan Batard lives in Miami. Dan Batard in Miami all day, every day, all the time. And now is when you ask that question? There ain't no damn accident. I'm saying to you Brian Flores, you see through all of that because he's a smart man. You see through all of that. I don't think it's an accident that it happened, and I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm speculating. Openly admit that. I'm just watching it because as a scribe, as a reporter, long before I became a pundit, I've been in this business for 30 years now. I've seen it, and I know most of the time, again, you connect dots. And if you're Miami and you're the NFL, even though Molly is absolutely right, both things can be true. When you got a case pending against you, you're looking for an advantage. Tua provided it. Brian Flores didn't knock it down. I'm saying that's the reality.
Yeah.
What comes of it, I have no idea. But that is the reality.
He's on to us.
So you're doing their legal bidding now, too, Dan.
Well, what I really appreciate is the amount of credit that he's giving us as masterminds when he says it's not a coincidence on the timing, and he's right about this. Should have been a week earlier if Meadowlark Media acted very quickly, and instead it got out like 5 days after we did it because we got it out when we got it out because everybody was rushing back to the facility to cut tape.
We sat on that for a while. You're right. Wasn't that a follow-up question, by the way?
It was the last question that I was
but he had
asking.
said something. I was there with you. He said something earlier, and you brought it back, and I was proud of you because you had to bring it back because Tua was talking about the differences between, being positive every day.
It is not strategically placed timing. We got it out with Chris Cote in shorts. There was nothing strategic.
This was all part of my plan.
Or in
all right?
cahoots.
As soon as I took over, I was like, all right, we're going to do this a week before the season starts. We got this.
We did. We planned with the Dolphins, with Goodell. We called him personally. Listen, Chris Cote's going to sit in shorts right next to him in the middle, and then we're going to release it 5 days later.
He let his guard down. I mean, Chris clearly made him comfortable. Why are you playing with the string?
I don't know why they have this still
That's
shot.
a strange still.
Like, it's just unnecessary.
I watched the video so good.
I don't know what to do with the strings sometimes. Like, does it look sloppy if they're not tied?
Are you?
But then if they are tied, you have to untie them every time you go pee-pee.
I hate all of this. Take this off the screen.
Dan, I was
no good bad publicity.
That's
you know
the
what I mean.
Exactly.
Dan, I was watching this video on YouTube and I was like, man, they did my boy dirty, putting him in the middle.
They did.
And then having him like kind of stare in between cameras. It looked like he wasn't paying attention for a while.
Well, no.
And then he would just look at the camera and I was like, oh.
It's because I assume when Tua's like going, they're just on Tua. I don't assume they're going to cut to the 3 shot of me awkwardly sitting there.
looking at me.
Of you playing with the strings on your shorts on the outside as if it were a bathing suit.
You got to know not to go to Chris there, though.
I enjoy the idea that somebody would think that Chris Cote in the middle seat of a couch is a mastermind strategic strike of an NFL lawsuit on racism. I appreciate getting that much credit for Chris Cote's executive producing.
Where do you go from here, Dan? Is this like a thing where you text Stephen A and you're like, hey, that's not true? Or do you just, what do you do? Aren't you guys friends?
It makes us seem way cooler than we actually are. Yeah. Let's just let this
call
live.
that cool. It would be pretty
We're
shitty.
involved with like NFL and
an
like
inside job is not cool. We're in cahoots.
I mean,
are you kidding me?
an inside job to discredit a guy accusing the league of racism? Yeah, that wouldn't be very cool, Stugotz.
Jessica, do you remember when Roger Goodell walked up to Juju in Germany and dapped him up? And everyone was like, how does Juju know Roger Goodell? You're welcome, Juju.
I just got in my headset. They're saying we should re-release the 2 interview with just the shot of me the entire time.
Oh,
That's a great idea.
You all can go bleep yourself.
Yes.
A one shot.
Please. Do we have
Please no.
Do we have like the
second
ISO
angle.
footage of just Cody? We could do the Chris Cote cut.
I like that idea. I also have been asking for a remix of all the words he stumbled on nervously during all of the Dolphin interviews. I want it to be a musical cut. Also in cahoots with the NFL, Tua, his people, and Goodell on that as well.
He's just a man, Dan.
He is.
But
a man.
If he's playing with his strings the entire time,
Not the whole time.
We should be able to see that.
Did you use him like a guitar? Like,
I don't know what I was doing. I was uncomfortable. I'm like, I'm in the middle. Why am I in the middle? Stugotz should be in the middle, and they're like, oh, he'll look so small there. You should be. How'd it work out?
Didn't you ask him to air guitar at one point?
Well, that was
You
just...
should have handed him one of your strings.
That's just a couple guys talking guitars. I mean,
Right,
when you
of
talk
course.
guitars, you talk air guitar.
Before we go any further here in the show, I did want to stop for a second to congratulate somebody I've admired in this business for a long time.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
It is most certainly not you. I mean, what I have seen Ariel Helwani do emerge from that sewer with credibility when that carnival barking skinhead is trying to always take away his power and doesn't care at all for journalism. To see Ariel Helwani come out of all of that with more credibility than any of the participants and now start his own vertical with Yahoo because he's realized, like a bunch of people have realized, that you can start your own thing and bring all of your people with you. Like, I could not have more admiration for what that beast has done with his platform, because he really created something out of nothing. The sport in general climbed from the sewer to become a credible thing that people embrace, and Ariel Helwani is the most credible journalist in the entirety of the sport's history and continues to grow. And the way that he did it, people cannot possibly understand the degree of difficulty when you've got the most powerful man in the organization actively trying to chase you out of places, but your information and your credibility is too good because Dana White doesn't have any respect for the idea that his information can be journalistically covered. He wants to control all of the power in that situation. So he has been unspeakably foul to Helwani over the years, trying to derail his career, and has failed. failed to do it, against his wishes, something emerged from all of that garbage to be more credible than all of that garbage. And I just couldn't be happier for him as somebody who created his own thing and continues to dominate what is a really democratic space now, and gets to go out on his own and build his own empire with Yahoo funding his entire empire of people, because he's going to make jobs for other people.
When you talk about Ariel, he's a pillar of the MMA community. I think he's 1A when you talk about journalistically for the MMA community. Like, it's him, right? And for him to do all things as a personal friend, I've worked with him when I was at ESPN. I was one of the producers there when he first originally got to ESPN. So for him to work at ESPN, with Spotify, with Vox, with all these different places that he's done, and now create his own thing. I know he's circled off a lot of different boxes, checked off a lot of different boxes career-wise. He's just an amazing dude.
That's right, it's time for Against the Spread! And it is sponsored by our lovers at DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Chris.
Tony, what do you got?
Before we go on, who's 1B?
1B, I would probably say the boys at Morning Combat. Here as part of the All the Smoke.
I thought you were going to say Tony was.
No,
I thought
I'm not there yet.
MMA
I'm not there yet.
Hangout
MMA
was.
Hangout is soaring right now. You can go check out. Yeah, it is soaring right now. But let's get to
Gunslingers?
Thank you.
One can hope.
We'll get there. We've got NFL action tomorrow, preseason. Was it week 3 of the preseason already? We're right there. We're on the doorstep, boys. Cincinnati Bengals, Jake Browning and them boys. Okay, at home against the Colts. Cincinnati Bengals plus 6.5-point dogs. I'm going to take them at home. It's going to be a closer game. I think there's going to be a lot of backups playing. I think Jake Browning and them boys.
Preseason football is dangerous to bet
It is.
on.
It's very dangerous. That's why I'm going to go with the points. That's why I'm going with the points here. Against the spread. Jake Browning and them boys.
Billy, who you got?
I'm going to take Georgia Tech plus 5.5.
Yeah!
Kickoff. This is their first of 2 Week 1 games, as Greg Cote reported last week for Florida State. I feel like Georgia Tech's going to have the upper hand on this one. I don't know if they're going to win. There's a lot of turnover there at Florida State. 10.5 points is a big spread. I'm going to take Georgia Tech plus 10.5 against the spread.
We're going to shock the world, Billy.
Amin, alma mater for Amin, Georgia Tech. He has not been this
Ramblin' Wreck.
He has not been this proudly a wreck since they beat the University of Miami, which refused to kneel in victory formation.
Oh, yes, Dan. I'm still working on those sideline passes for homecoming.
Spinoff knows there's no I in football. It's a we thing, an experience best enjoyed together. Whether you're home or away, we rally together, we cry together, and we always rally cry together. Because in fandom, there's definitely no I. Smirnoff is the perfect vodka for crafting delicious cocktails that are easy to make and versatile for any fans over 21. As the world's #1 vodka and the official vodka partner of the NFL, Smirnoff brings an award-winning taste to every game day celebration. With a rich history dating back to 1864, Smirnoff is all about igniting the collective spirit. So when it's time to cheer on your favorite team, remember, we do game days with Smirnoff. Share the moment, share the spirit, and make every game day memorable. Drink responsibly. Smirnoff bringing fans together, one cocktail at a time. Grab a bottle of Smirnoff at your local retailer and head to Smirnoff.com to find recipes of delicious cocktails perfect for game day. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff No. 21 Vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age.
Dan Le Batard.
Teammates can't shoot from 3. Now they're gonna see a different Jimmy. Now he's just playing Nickelback in the locker room, and
Stugotz.
they'll play D and shoot 3s as they chase the Nets for the 6th seed. These 5 words in his head scream, "Are we winning games yet?"
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Can we get, please, before we go any further, into some of the music choices that Kirk Cousins is making? You thought I was going to go gunslingers there?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. I am not. I am not going. I have not promised. I am not going to gunslingers. Nope, I will not do gunslingers today. Yes, not that one though. Not interested in doing that one. How do we feel about the playlist here of Kirk Cousins, the practice playlist? Because Jessica was saying that she would buy the playlist from the DNC last night.
I wouldn't buy it, but I would download it on Apple Music and listen to it. Perhaps there's some bangers in there.
For the audio audience that isn't able to see the list of songs that Kirk Cousins played at practice, I will just play. I'm looking at Mr. Brightside by The Killers, All the Small Things by Blink-182. What else we got here? We got
any OAR.
Let me help you here. Okay.
Now, Chris, to further solidify what you just said and Dan, what you just played, AtlantaFalcons.com actually wrote up about on their site, the official Atlanta Falcons site, about this playlist, and in it they quoted internet reaction to it, and the first tweet they have is from Jeremy Chandler Taché. Oh no, I am Kirk Cousins,
Fallout Boy.
Kryptonite by Three Doors Down.
I love that though.
I remember they used to play the promo for on NBC for Kings versus Lakers, and Shaq is like, what's his kryptonite? It's the Kings. And they played that song. That was the first time I ever heard that song. Goosebumps.
Oh, man. Maroon 5. This love has taken its toll.
For practice? This is a practice playlist?
It's like... This is a Kendall Tool Peloton ride if I've ever seen one.
Stacy's mom is a banger.
She's got it going on.
These are all really old songs.
This is like 2006, like Billboard Top 100
It's
songs.
not even recent Fall Out Boy. It's Sugar We're Going Down. That's like their second album.
The anthem, Good Charlotte. Oh, classic.
Mr. Brightside.
I can't believe you neglected to mention Stereo Hearts by Gym Class Heroes. My heart's a stereo. It beats for you and
They should have done this. They should have done this the way Roy does Roy's Top 10. And like there should have been one just like...
A shocking number one.
You guys ever think the Gym Class Heroes guy looked like Joakim Noah?
NWA.
Speaking of playlists, all right, I'll give you your gunslinger open.
Oh, wow! He promised, he delivered. I mean,
let's just see, though, for all of you who were thinking, how does Gardner Minshew work out? Does he work out to Creed? Of course he works out to Creed. Does he work out shirtless? Of course he does. Is he wearing a carpet made out of chest hair on his torso? Yes. Should he play an NFL game holding a Miller Lite and shirtless and with a hairy torso? Let's see Gardner Minshew working out to Creed.
He's just shirtless in a field.
My God.
Sweaty.
Now he's in a gym.
All of the chest hair is matted and wet from the amount of work that he's doing. It is maximum mullet.
I like how the T-shirt is just there in principle. The sleeves are ripped off. The midriff is ripped off. It's just tatters on him. But it serves the purpose of no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Surprised there was no Creed on Kirk Cousins' list.
That is a bit of a surprise.
Tony, I do have a question for you about the gunslinger list. So we define gunslinger as deep ball threat, right? Like they're chucking it up far.
Big arm. To me, a lot of interceptions. Doesn't care about interceptions.
They take chances.
So I looked up the leaders last year for deep passing on PFF, and I'm not going to lie, the first one surprised me, and I wonder if it's on your list.
Probably not.
See, I'm not doing deep with gunslingers.
Or this list, it's not going to be deep.
I'm going
You're
like
reckless. You
I'm
take
going
chances,
reckless.
and sometimes it works out, and sometimes it doesn't.
My word association with a gunslinger is reckless.
Yeah.
Not
Are these good?
Number 5.
But well, define being reckless.
Yeah.
Reckless would be
Josh
like
Allen.
throwing it
Brett
really
Favre.
far and it's an interception.
But is this
right?
list
an arm
talent-wise? Like these are top 5 or these are top 5 gunslingers? Like, are they being good quarterbacks or good gunslingers?
Both.
Jess, it's Brett Favre thinking he could squeeze a ball in when he can't, and so he tries it anyway.
Ryan
Yeah, but it's not
Fitzpatrick.
on like a 5-yard out. Like
It's Ryan Fitzpatrick being like, that safety ain't making this play. I'm still throwing it.
Right.
Jameis needs to be on this list. He's not going to be. That's what I'm
Jameis?
telling you right now.
To me, he's a gunslinger. He's reckless.
He led the league in like touchdowns and interceptions in the same
He had a
year.
30-30 year.
Yeah.
So we're clear on what this list is.
Man.
Jameis Winston on a 7-9 football team threw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. Tom Brady came in, eliminated the interceptions. They immediately won the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's what a gunslinger
Well,
is.
Gronk came too.
Yes.
Favre is the only one who's allowed to win a championship and be a gunslinger.
Oh, I don't know about
these
that.
are
No
not,
way.
These are
I
not
don't know
championship
about
quarterbacks.
that. I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
We just saw
These are not championship
We just
quarterbacks.
saw a dude throw a pass behind his back. You don't think
Not
that's
a gunslinger.
gunslinger behavior?
Mahomes is not a gunslinger.
It's kind of like the all bucket
He's too
list.
good.
He's too good to
What
be.
about
He's
Russell
got some
Wilson?
traits. Like, he has moments where, like, that's what a gunslinger looks like.
You guys keep fixing good and bad. The gunslinger's a gunslinger. Some of them
Yeah.
are good, some of them are bad, but you just sling guns.
Right,
That's
like
what you
Baker
do.
Mayfield's a gunslinger.
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 To clear things
Yes.
up, Jameis did not lead the league in touchdowns. He led the league in passing yards and interceptions that year.
Thank you, Billy. It's important that we have accuracy during this gunslinger
He's right about that,
conversation. The gunslinger himself does not have to have accuracy, though.
No.
So where are we? OLI?
OLI, Jameis Winston.
You just
Me and Jess were talking about it before. I just didn't write it down.
Ben Roethlisberger is a gunslinger.
No, he's too mobile.
Really?
Yeah, I need a
What?
gunslinger who's statuesque in the
mobile?
pocket.
What do you mean?
And just letting
He
it
runs
ride.
like a skyscraper.
No,
I
he was
know, but it's
surprisingly
different,
fleet
though.
of foot.
He
was.
would get out of tackles. That was like
All
his
the
whole
time.
thing. Like you couldn't tackle
Yeah.
the guy. But he was
He's
like
a
the king
gunslinger.
of the pump fake and then the long ball.
Yeah.
Semi-reckless at times.
Yeah.
But I don't
Number
know.
5, Phillip
On and off
Rivers.
the field.
I thought a gunslinger other than Favre couldn't win a championship, but you're telling me Roethlisberger's a gunslinger. That's
Yeah.
what you're telling me.
Yes. Yes.
I give him half a gunslinger.
You put him on your list of gunslingers.
No, I didn't. I said Phillip Rivers.
Oh.
That's number 5. Phillip Rivers, another guy not winning a championship, but a gunslinger.
I don't like this championship kind of.
I agree.
No.
I
Dan said
agree.
it. I'm just
I'm
going with
of the belief that if you're a gunslinger, that can't win the ultimate trophy. It's part of being a gunslinger.
I don't think any of us have the same definition for gunslinger.
That's why I was trying to get the criteria.
Yeah, I'm with
right.
you. I think we need to slow down here.
So this is interesting. Early John Elway, gunslinger. Late John Elway handed the ball off to Terrell Davis. I mean,
won a championship
won
as soon
two.
as he stopped
Yes.
being. Or
Won two.
he was a retired gunslinger, and then he was allowed to win a
As
championship.
soon as he stopped slinging guns,
That's right.
That's when he started
That's
winning.
right. He doesn't burst through the saloon doors and shoot everybody. He just hands it to Terrell Davis, and he gently opens the saloon doors, and then Elway sits down and has a sarsaparilla.
Ben Roethlisberger's Peruvian. He was born in Lima,
Lima, Ohio.
Ohio.
Oh.
Okay. Never
Number four.
Number 4, controversial, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, wow. What a Super Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers is a gunslinger.
One of the
guys.
best quarterbacks of all time.
Turn
Gunslinger.
the ball
Gunslinger
over.
doesn't mean bad, Chris.
Yeah,
You
Brett
can't-
Favre was a gunslinger.
You can't be a gunslinger and have 5 interceptions in a season.
It's a mentality, though. He's putting the ball where he shouldn't, and then
way
all of a
off on this
sudden,
one.
the ball's there.
You know, sometimes you sling the gun and the gun just happens to be a dud. Like, look, man.
Misfire.
Yeah, so that's not. Look, the intention was to gunsling. It's not about the results. Stop playing the results, Dan Le Batard.
Video, please put in the corner Gardner Minshew's workout,
Yes, please.
sweaty
Forever.
and torso-y. Number 3,
Brett Favre.
Yeah. Ultimate. Yeah.
two better.
The gunslinger.
The
No,
gunslinger.
Two better than the OG.
Two better, though.
Does a gunslinger throw a gun? Because you shouldn't do that.
He slings a gun.
No,
Not a gun thrower.
He neither throws nor slings
But
the
it's
gun.
sling.
He just treats the gun and has such facility with the gun that it's as if he's operating a sling. He's got his total control over the
Attaboy,
shooting tendencies.
I know it's a sling.
Now, Billy,
Chris doesn't.
if throwing is what you're
David
looking
and
for,
Goliath. Sling.
flamethrower, that's a different list.
Really?
Yeah, it's a different list.
Different list.
That's a
Totally
list,
different.
yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, Matthew Stafford.
Won a Super Bowl.
Also won a Super Bowl.
Is he guns?
He's a gunslinger, guys.
I would say,
arm angle.
You know what
He
I would
actually
say?
is a gunslinger because he had no business winning that Super Bowl. That pass in Tampa Bay late in the game should have been picked off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he also had a no-look pass in the Super Bowl, which is a very gunslingy tendency. But this is what I would argue. I'd argue that Stafford, when he was in Detroit, gunslinger.
You're right.
Got to the Rams, won a championship, put down the guns.
Yeah.
We'll see this season.
Number one.
Dan Marino.
Never won it. I mean,
A lot of interceptions.
A lot of gunslinging, though.
You've got to have too much confidence in your arm. Too much.
Exactly. That's a part of the criteria is like, I'm going to fit this ball where nobody else can fit it.
I like that. Going back to Stafford, I like the idea Dan has that Matthew Stafford showed up from Detroit. He's got all his guns, and McVay was like, "Whoa,
Put 'em
partner,
away.
you got to put them away." So then he starts to like unload them out on the table right there before he walks into camp.
Yeah,
and he walks in gunless, and that's how he became a Super Bowl.
But then he
champ.
finds like one more.
But it was
he
like
had
Butch
so many
Davis.
guns that there's one more in his pocket that he
his
forgot
boot.
about.
It was in his boot.
It was like Butch Davis. He thought he got all of them. He knew he didn't get half of them. All of a sudden, Tampa Bay, wham! All of a sudden, Cooper Cup's open. Let me look at it that way.
Tony.
Yes.
CJ Stroud?
Too early.
Yeah.
Early, but gunslinger tendencies.
Yes,
they're
no
there.
doubt,
If you really look at him, very
You
tough.
squint.
Yeah.
No, it's not a squint situation. It's like really locking in on him.
Correct.
It's like, oh wow, he fit that ball where?
Same with Caleb.
He had 1,200 passing yards over 20 or more yards last year. So
Who are the
just
least
behind Brock
gunslingers?
Purdy.
The
Well,
least
Aaron Rodgers is
Joe
on his
Montana.
list. He doesn't throw any interceptions. But I am willing to co-sign what Tony is saying here on this front. This is what happened with Stafford. I wish NFL Video would release this video the way they haven't released the Travis Kelce pushing over a doddering Andy Reid in the Super Bowl. He gets from Detroit to Los Angeles. He gets into McVay's office, and he puts 12 guns on the table. And he's like, here, you got all my gunslinger. I'm not going to do this anymore. And then he reaches down and he realizes he's still got one in the ankle strap.
A revolver.
He didn't realize that he's got a small gun in the ankle strap, and that was the no-look pass in the Super Bowl. Not even McVay wants that. McVay's not calling a no-look pass in the Super Bowl to Cup. They got one receiver. All 7 guys are covering him, and he's like, no, I'm going to no-look it here. You know why? Because I've got something in the ankle strap, and I forgot about it. I've lived with it so long in my life that I forgot that this was even weighting down my ankle.
Who's the anti-gunslinger?
Alex Smith.
Again, Aaron Rodgers.
I think is Tua in that conversation.
He had a lot of interceptions.
He does
last
make
year.
some reckless throws, but he's super accurate.
Can you ask Dan? Do they want you to
I don't
ask?
understand the interceptions thing. It's
Again, I think you guys are playing the results too much when you start talking about interceptions at Super Bowls. Who wants to talk about that? It's all about
It's
the
a
tendencies.
style of play,
the
yeah.
style of play. But if you want the anti-gunslinger, Trent Dilfer.
Aaron Rodgers had a 4-year period where he threw 15 interceptions.
You cannot be a gunslinger unless there are interceptions. Like there is no such thing as a gunslinger in the pros without interceptions.
He threw interceptions. It's not like he threw 0.
But
he threw some.
even if he threw 0, what if he was just a really, really, really lucky gunslinger?
The best of the gunslingers.
Yeah, like
you're just confusing
Best of the
things.
West.
Stop.
Would Aaron Rodgers call himself a gunslinger?
I saw that the one fact that Twitter did correct over the last months of misinformation is that it is not true that Patrick Mahomes has had 53 interceptions called back by penalty. The second leader in the NFL is Josh Allen with 7. People were throwing that around as if it was an accurate stat. It is not an accurate stat.
Seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot, but
Like 54, 52. It wasn't precisely accurate. It was around there though, ballpark.
The thing that you guys are neglecting that is simply wrong is you cannot be a gunslinger unless you throw interceptions. It's not. It's like having.
It's part of the job.
It's like
You're
you're
right,
telling
yes.
me somebody's a gunslinger and they don't have a gun. Like the interceptions are as important as the gun in the gunslinging.
The point is, you're taking chances when you probably shouldn't take chances, and occasionally it's not going to work out.
Well,
Dan's
Mahomes
right.
is on the
Yeah,
top of that list. He
right.
throws balls behind his back. He's falling down. He throws crazy
and to
balls.
Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
And also, sometimes you don't have guns, but you just use your fingers. You're like, I'm still a gunslinger. I just
Sometimes you can sling the
guns.
gun but not be a gunslinger. Yeah.
There was a guy who was a
Yeah.
gunslinger and then transitioned to not being a gunslinger.
Elway.
Deshaun Watson, too.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Was a gunslinger in Houston, throwing the ball all over the place.
Now he's
all of a
just
sudden,
bad. Now he's just bad.
Now he sucks.
Yeah.
This video in the corner of my screen is hypnotizing. It is somehow, and I can't believe the sentence I'm about to utter, it is somehow sexier than Will Levis's mayonnaise commercial.
Oh, wow. Debatable.
You squint on him, too.
He's too hairy for me.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew is, or
Yeah.
Levis? I mean, he's very...
Levis, no hair. I mean...
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Anyway.
Where did that come from?
What?
Wait, so
I
wait,
don't know.
so
Italian roots.
wait.
What just happened?
Wait. This much hair, I think, sweaty. I would say this is generally unattractive. But I am not the barometer for these things.
Why not?
Thank God.
You guys love to tell me like what men are hot, and then when
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I actually think George Clooney is better looking than Brad Pitt, and you're like, no, oh my God, you're wrong.
Thank you.
I was with you on that one, Jessica, but are you now arguing that this sweaty, hairy Gardner Minshew, you're saying more hair? You're saying more, you want more sweaty hair
He doesn't
than
have
this?
that much chest hair at all. Like, I can see his skin through his chest hair. That's not a lot of chest hair.
Well, I am sort of, there's the optical
He has
illusion.
no arm hair.
We need a little back
I'll
hair
say
there,
it.
too.
This is a sexy amount of chest hair.
No, look,
No,
not this
not
shot.
enough.
No, there's another one.
No,
It's
it's a good
sweaty.
amount.
It gets stuck together when it's sweaty, and it seems like there's not as much as there's there.
Him and the rock on, too. I love that.
Let me see that lower back hair. Let me
That's where
get
that's
this other
the tell,
angle.
the lower back.
This is gross.
Because it lets you know what the butt looks like.
Oh, come on. Like, come on.
He's right about
Oh, I'm
Come
sorry.
on.
Now we've gone too far.
Come
We're all in the
on.
Let me see your lower back.
Come on.
Let me see your lower back.
Grow
Tells
up,
a story,
people.
dude.
Really?
Yeah,
It tells us, okay, literal.
Dude, let me see your lower back.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, asshole.
No, Minshew's asshole out.
The back's hairy. You had us.
Out.
Asshole's hairy.
Out.
Billy or Minshew's asshole?
Out, both of you.
You guys took that way too far.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes,
5
asshole.
minutes.
Major asshole.
Both of them. Major asshole, minor asshole.
Tony, great list.
It's like a reverse treasure trail.
Summer's the best time to run the way you want. Dial it up with new challenges and programs and bring your workouts with you to make the most of outside sunny days. There's no better way to do that than with Peloton. With Peloton, take advantage of how beautiful it is outside right now. You can go on an outdoor run or even a walk if you're not feeling like running, all while working on your tan. Summer's the best time to push your pace. Move how you want, enhance your fitness journey, and feel like your most empowered self. Whether you're prepping for a marathon or improving your pace, whatever road lies ahead, your training starts here with Peloton Tread or Tread Plus. Peloton's programs and instructors take you to new heights. Tap into their expertly programmed workouts and real-time metrics like pace targets that can take your fitness journey to new heights. From their strength classes designed for runners on the Peloton Tread or Tread Plus to guided outdoor runs on the Peloton app, Peloton's classes challenge you to be your best. Call yourself a runner with Peloton at onepeloton.com/running.
Hey folks, it's Mike Ryan, and as you know, our show has changed a lot over the years. You guys knew me when I was 19 years old. I'm now a family man, 38 years old. Man, I've been in this industry for a long time. Grateful to be a part of this show and grateful for one of our longtime partners over in Miller Lite. So one thing that hasn't changed over the course of this 20-year run, the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. Why don't you tell me? Right now, I'll take an opportunity to lay out for a brief moment to listen to you and tell me what your favorite thing is about the original light beer. Go ahead. Wow, a lot of you spoke at the exact same time. I actually couldn't make out any of it. Whatever it is that you said your favorite thing about Miller Lite was, don't worry, this debate was sparked in 1975, and they still haven't settled it. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.